Long way, get this shit a long way, this shit a long way. Long way, hit the long way, 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 shit, long way, long shit, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, get shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way, finish rich, yeah. Gotta get the shit a long way, gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get this shit a long way, gotta get this shit a long way. Tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, yeah. Get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slaves. No, we gotta finish rich. No, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand rich. She don't understand niggas gotta get rich. She don't understand, sometimes we gotta hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit. Tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way, yeah. Coach is tryna wrap up a entree. Yeah, told you the other day that did my phone strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, get the shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a pong way. My name is Tari, I ain't playing games, so I'm done Tari. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, man. Said fuck it, bitch, we gon' get some money. Said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I want to get some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get shit the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the pong way, yeah. Man, I'ma get the shit the long way, get the shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. We gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, for me, yeah. So we gon' get this shit the long way, 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 yeah, we get this shit the long way, yeah, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah, we gon' get the long way, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ, the founder of SMD. Welcome. What's up, Dean 86? First one in here. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Long story short, what do? I help you own yourself. I help you own the business of you. How do I do this? I do this by sharing my gift with you. I understand that capitalism is psychological. It's mathematically true, so it is true. So I know it's true. So, but there's not many people that know this at all. So this is what makes it a gift. Okay. So I'm here to share that gift. So with understanding that capitalism is psychological, I see things very different. I understand that debt slaves are the currency. The physical currency, virtual currency, none of that exists. That's because debt slaves are the currency. But they don't know they're the currency. That's the psychological part. They don't know that, right? And that's how it works. That's how there's capitalism. With all the debt slaves can see capitalism. They know, hey, we live here in the U.S. It's capitalist, and this is what we do. And so they all know that, but they don't understand that there's another side to it, which is psychological, and they don't know that part. And that's how it must be for it to exist and work. Okay. Anyway, with that, knowing that debt slaves are the currency, I see things very, very differently now. So recently I saw that President Biden signed some bill or into law where it increases the statutes of limitations of federal crimes, financial crimes like PPP fraud. It went from like 6 years to 10 years. Okay. Now, when you understand that capitalism is psychological, you see what is called the mathematical obvious. Okay, it's obvious, right? So a lot of you guys are out there doing the PPP fraud from $100 to millions of dollars. It really doesn't matter. It's all a federal crime, no matter how much you take. They tell you that before you press enter. They say, hey, man, if this is not true, if you're lying on these files, if you're not really going to do what you're telling us you're going to do with this money, you're going to be in some trouble. You're going to be in some big trouble, and it's going to be a federal crime. Are you sure you want to press enter? They tell you that. I'm sure they do. I'm sure it's in there. But debt slaves, you guys are so blinded by the money, you just press enter. That's it. What you guys don't understand is debt slaves, as soon as you press enter or submit, that's the crime right there. That's it. The money really doesn't matter. That's just the money's just the bait. Okay? Easy money, hey, you can sign a few documents and get multi-millions of dollars. Have you ever tried to go to the bank and try to get a loan for multi-millions of dollars? You think you're going to sign out a couple falsified documents? No, you're not. No, you're not. But for some reason, this is easy as pie. Oh, okay, well, it's not. But then again, listen, they're not hiding anything from you. They say, hey, if you falsify this, you're going to be in trouble federally. They say that. Now, what this means for you guys doing PPP fraud that have done it, got blinded by the money, you put yourselves on that hook. You did. You put yourselves on a hook. What hook is that? Now you're going to be debt slaves for the rest of your lives for that worthless pieces of paper. Now you're going to be debt slaves for the rest of your lives. When they catch you, they got 10 years to do it. To make sure by the time they actually, who knows the order? I don't know how they're going to do it. But when they round you up, that money's going to be nice and spent. The majority of you guys that took that kind of money you've never seen that amount of money in your life. And guess what? You never will again, ever. I promise you that, ever. Now, say like here you are in your early 20s, still in PPP money. It's probably all spent by now anyway, because you guys never seen that amount of money. And you guys it's just bananas how it works, man. But you put yourself on the hooks, nobody blaming anybody. You do it in your early 20s, and say like 6 to 7 years go by. You start changing into another person. You get married, having kids. You're like, hey, you know what? I'm not into that crime stuff anymore. You just turn over a new leaf, right? Because it happens. Okay. Some people change, some people stay. Okay. But some people change. Okay. And then year 8, you get a letter in the mail from the IRS saying, hey, we followed up on this PPP loan that you took out 8 years ago. It looks like you didn't follow the rules. Who knows how they're going to put it together? Hey, 8 years of penalties and fees and interest. Who knows? But a crime's a crime, whatever. That's gonna put a monkey wrench in your brand new life. Sure is. Gonna put a stress on the marriage. Because you probably, just think about it. You thought you got away with it. And you go and just imagine you go and get married to somebody, right? It's 8 years later. You find a new woman, man, whatever, and you marry them. By this time, you're on the straight and narrow. You ain't doing none of that dirt anymore that you did in your early 20s. Then all of a sudden you're living your life. You got your great job because you ain't got no record or nothing. Remember, you probably went to college, got your degree, got your good job, all that. Because remember, you didn't get caught. And then all of a sudden you get that letter in the mail saying, hey, you took out this PPP fraud 8 years ago. You have to show us that you did it correctly. But if they're already sending you letters, they know you didn't. I promise you, they already know you didn't. Now you got to do some prison time. Now you got to pay a big fine. How long you think you're going to be married? Especially to a person that you didn't tell them what you did back then 8 years ago, because in your mind you said, I don't really have no need to tell them because I didn't get caught. And then all of a sudden this comes up, they're going to say, what? There goes that marriage. What if you had kids? What if you had kids by the new person? What if you had kids? Now daddy or mommy got to leave because of something they did 8 years ago. "10 years of looking over your shoulder. You're at your great job." Just think, imagine you're at your great job. You're making good money. You're making good old money. All the people love you at your job. Everybody's just like, hey, man, you're just so and so's doing great. And then all of a sudden, now everything changes. Convicted felon. Bye bye job. All those years of working up the ladder, gone. Marriage over. Over what? For worthless pieces of paper. That's it. Bananas. But see, when you do stuff like that, and I'm just explaining to you, when you get out of the debt matrix, there's an order in life now. My order is time is number one, always, because my time here on earth is limited. So by default, time is always number one because I'm only here for so long. And number two is money. So say like this, as the person I am today, somebody, well, this would never happen and it wouldn't even get this far, but I'm just trying my best to explain to you. Okay. If somebody approached me and said, hey, I can get you $1 million. All you got to do is fill out these papers and do this and that and do this and that. And I'd be like, $1 million. And then I'll turn to him and say, hey, what is the penalty for that if I lie about that? Oh, you can get prison time. No, the answer is no. I'm not trading something more valuable for something less valuable. Time is number one. Money is number two. Money is less valuable than time. This is and trust me, this is just my opinion. Okay, this is just my opinion. That kind of stuff, easy money and student loan debt, easy, just things that's easy, but you can't. That's how debt slaves are created. You guys got to understand that's how they're created, and you create yourselves. You create yourselves. You got, man, just can you imagine the next 10 years of your life? You have to worry about what if you did a PPP loan for $500? It really doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter what the amount is. I'm just saying, what if you did a PPP fraud, let's say 1,000 for $1,000? Now for the next 10 years, you have to be worried about that $1,000 stolen in PPP money for the next 10 years of your life, man. 10 years. And what's so crazy, it is all public knowledge. You can go online and see everybody that took out PPP loans. That is bananas. You can see who's doing it. And if you look on the list and you know the people that took these loans, and you know for a fact they're doing fraud, guess what? Those people, they're owned. They don't know that they're owned, but they're owned now. They probably didn't even pay attention what Biden did, extending the from 6 years to 10 years, because there's a lot of you guys. That's what that means. That's why they extended the statute of limitations. That means there's a lot of you that did it. At all levels, all ages, it doesn't matter. It doesn't a PPP fraudster doesn't look like anything. That's a trick. That means there's a lot of you that did it. And guess what? You're all owned now. You better start wondering what it feels like to be a felon if you've never been one. You better figure out how it feels to be on probation. You better get used to it. They got so many shows. They got all these jail shows and probation shows. You better start watching them, because that's going to be your life. Because they're not going to be able to put everybody in prison, okay? That's just not. But you're stamped and owned after that. But you most definitely getting probation. You're getting something. You're not just saying, hey, don't do that again. No, no, and no. You're getting something. Believe that. Especially if you're a person right now that did the fraud and you have absolutely no record, that's going to change. Better get used to all your freedoms, because now your freedom's about to be limited. Passport, voting, leaving the country, probation officers, and all that bullshit. Especially if you get stamped at a young age in your 20s. You guys have, listen, when you're in your 20s and you're doing PPP fraud, okay, no, let's do it this way. If you are in your 20s and you did PPP fraud, the best way I can explain this to you is this. You don't realize that you're not going to be 20 forever. You're only 20s. You're only going to be in your 20s for 10 years. You're not going to be there forever. So when they catch you and they stamp you as a PPP fraudster, which is a felon, now you're stamped. Okay? Now when you reach your 30s, you're going to still have the stamp. You might be a whole different person, but guess what? You're still going to be stamped. Then you're going to reach your 40s, and then you're going to be a 40-year-old stamped, something that you did in your 20s. Stamped early. Life is not over, but life is going to be harder. You're going to get older. Maybe it's going to change. You're going to meet some friends, and they're going to say, "Hey, man, we're going to all head over to Paris and go on vacation in Paris." Guess what? You can't go. First of all, you probably won't be able to get a passport. Second of all, they probably won't even let you in the country if they run your record and say, "Who are you? What's your name?" Then they go run you and say, "Oh no, sorry, you're on the next plane back." All for some PPP money. It doesn't matter if your friends were doing it. It doesn't matter what they were doing. Hey, man, get this fast money. Hey, whatever. You guys do whatever you want to do. Go ahead. You're adults. "10 years of looking over your shoulder." Damn. And I'm telling you this as an older man. That I wish to God somebody would have told me this in my 20s, because I'm not saying I was a perfect angel in my 20s. I'm just saying I wish when I was in my 20s, I heard somebody say this kind of talk to me. Because when I was in my 20s, I thought everybody was old and they don't know what they're talking about. Because when you're in your 20s and you hear somebody in their 30s and 40s, you think they're old. No, you are young. You are brand new to earth. You are. When you're in your 20s, guess what? You are new to earth. We've been here for quite a while, well before you. But the benefit of coming to this channel, as in your 20s, You're listening to an older person that's 52 that also understands that capitalism is psychological. That's something very rare. You will never find that anywhere else but here. There's nobody to ask. There's nowhere to go. There's no classes. There's no channel teaching it because they don't know it fucking exists. I wish somebody would have said it to me like that in my 20s. Sure did. I would have been like, what? This dude sound like he knows what he's talking about because he's looking me right in the eye and he's not even turning his head, and he's proving everything he's saying with mathematics. He's using a calculator and everything, and he's showing me. He's showing me right here. But everybody around me doesn't believe the calculator, but the calculator's never wrong. Sure is it? No. No, it's not. Once you understand capitalism is psychological and somebody came to you with a PPP fraud idea, you would say, are you crazy? That's a federal crime. Yeah. What are you talking about then? I'm not doing that. For what? Paper? No. My order is time first, money second. That would take away the time of my life if I get caught. Yeah. Because even if you get probation, that's time taken away. You don't own. Listen, once you're on probation, that means you don't own yourself no more. Besides not owning yourself, listen, when you're in debt, you don't own yourself, but you don't know that psychologically. You don't really get that. You just think it's normal to have debt, and that's just that way. But if you do a crime and you get on probation, now you physically don't own yourself no more. You physically know you don't own yourself anymore because you got to report to the person that does own you, which is the what? State that you broke the law in. But since this is a federal crime, that means it goes across the United States of America. Which say, Ms. B, my sister confessed to me that she tried to get a loan. Her tax person was helping people file the fraudulent documents. Thankfully, it didn't work out for her. Okay, I wonder. Well, as long as she didn't get to the point to where she pressed enter, you know what I'm saying? If they was in the process of the paperwork, yeah, thank God that did not happen. Thank God that didn't happen. Her friend got it and purchased a home. That is bananas. I keep telling my sister that she is going to get in trouble, and the tax person. I told her, wait and see. Oh, you know what's so crazy? This is what's bananas. And this is the lovely thing about understanding that capitalism is psychological, okay? A debt slave, and there's a lot of pieces in the puzzle that are really not making any sense to me, okay? That you guys can't see because you guys don't understand capitalism is psychological. You don't really understand. But anyway, let's just stay at this level. This person steals money, takes it fraudulently, and then go purchase a house in their own name with the money. Now, I'm thinking in my mind, I think to myself, I mean, I understand, but I'm just trying to verbalize it, trying to think about the inside of a debt slave's brain. Do they really believe that they own the house, that it's going to be like that for the rest of their lives, that they got away with something that, I mean, you cannot believe that. You just can't. But if we take it another level, okay? Now, put it this way, a person that would do PPP fraud, the first thing you would do is look at their personal credit report. Their personal credit report will show you why they are doing PPP fraud. You'll know why they're doing PPP fraud, right? Their credit report will show this. Okay, so they go and purchase a house with money that, if you look at the credit report, you clearly know that they shouldn't have that much money in cash. They got collections, student loans they ain't paid in 15, 20 years, but then all of a sudden they have $400,000, $500,000 to buy a house. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know how that works. I don't know how you purchase a house with cash, and your credit report clearly says you don't have that much money, but I don't know. Anyway, that doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Uh, what do you put on the documents? Hey, hi, it's like, doesn't the city say, well, how you gonna pay these taxes? You ain't even got a job, and looks like you haven't worked in like 10 years. Nobody's questioning $500,000 in cash. I don't know, man. I just don't get it. But why would they think that they're really going to keep the house and live there? They're probably not even paying attention what Biden just did. They have no idea, not even paying attention to it. What'd you say there? You said, I was very mad at her when she told me. I told her that I would not have visited her in prison or sent any packages. I heard that. Debt slaves, you guys do it to yourselves. You guys, debt slaves create themselves. That's what's lovely about psychological capitalism. Debt slaves create themselves. They got 10 years. They threw out, like I said, they threw out the line. PPP fraud, easy money. Now they got 10 years to slowly reel that line in to see how many people put themselves on the hook to become debt slaves for the rest of their lives. See how many people did it? 10 years of just wondering, checking the mailbox, will a letter be in the mailbox that day? Because what you guys are going to do, you guys are going to probably get the letter and just ignore it. And, hey, if I don't respond, you guys start conjuring up these things in your mind like it's just going to go away or something, right? If I don't answer the letter, they won't know that I did get it and this and that. You guys all you're doing is prolonging it. That's all you're doing is prolonging it. Now, if they have to physically send somebody out to you, that costs money. That costs money to physically send an agent out to you when you could have just answered the letter and say, hey, okay, you're going to have to answer these questions. But and 90% of you guys are going to ignore the letters or whatever. If it's letters, I don't know if they just come straight out and get you. But who knows how they do it? Counts on the level that you stole, I'm sure. But who knows? It's going to be your turn. You do know that, right? Now, granted, of course, they cannot catch every single person. Of course, some people are going to get away with it. But that's like playing the lottery or something. Are you crazy? Your odds are bad. Don't think of the lottery odds of winning. Your odds are bad. I promise you. But just to have that on your brain, like if you have no criminal record right now and you did a PPP loan fraud, right? Any day that could change. Any day now. What day is it going to be? Are you going to, whoever you meet in the future, are you going to have to tell them what you did? Just in case if it happens, hey, this might happen. I might end up going to prison. For what? I stole some money. Shouldn't have did it. That money is so juicy. You guys just jump all over it. Jump all over it. Debt slaves. Debt slaves now. Debt slaves forever. What's up, Frenchelle? People aren't going to show each other their credit report, LJ. People will swap saliva and body fluids. A credit report. That's insane. Ain't that? And you know what's so crazy? That is so true. You guys probably don't even know what she's saying. Let me to the debt slaves that are new to the channel, welcome. And you got to answer this to yourselves honestly, okay? Say like you're with somebody and you've been with them for years. You guys been doing everything under the sun. And let me ask you, Have you ever seen your partner's credit report, the whole credit report? Have you ever seen it? Have they ever seen yours? I'm here to tell you that's a big, big problem. That's a big problem. That's a very big problem. If you and you got to be honest with yourself, and you probably and even if you said to yourself, "I've never even known to ask that question," you got to be honest with yourself to say that too. Hey, I've never. And this is what you got to do. Okay, to the person, listen, the person you're with, and the person you love, and you have sex with, you have kids with, you guys have a house together, you guys have cars together, you guys have investments together, you guys have everything together. You turn to them and say, "Hey, honey, yeah, can I see your entire credit report, all three of them?" They're going to say, "My credit score?" You're going to say, "No, I want to see your entire credit report." And just ask. Of course, they can't listen. They can't say no, right? They can't say no, because if they do, that's a problem. You can share everything else in your life, but I can't see your personal credit report? What are you talking about? Don't we fuck? Yeah. But I can't see your credit report. No. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. Don't we have 5 kids together? Yeah, but I can't see your personal credit report. No. Oh, that's weird. What's up, Wayman? It's gonna tell you guys a lot. Now, to everybody, to you guys, again, you guys don't understand that capitalism is psychological. I get it. You guys don't really get it. I understand, right? But to your defense, the majority of you have never even known to ask that question. Okay, that's in your defense, and that's just part of how it works. Okay, you guys don't know to ask those type of questions. Hey, can I see your personal credit report? No. And I dare you to ask your partner that question. And listen, if you've been with this person for years and you guys been telling each other that you love each other, they can't say no to that question. Do you understand? The answer of no is not acceptable. That's not acceptable. What do you mean no? What are you talking about? I'll show you mine. Yeah, then you're gonna show me yours. See what happens. Ooh, I wish I could be a fly on the wall in them conversations. Ooh, we. You're going to discover a lot of things about your partner, where the money's going. How come we can't afford this? How come why? I thought you get paid this. How come the money's, hey, it's going to tell you everything, every single financial question that you ever wanted to know about your partner. It's going to answer it for you. Back to the title of the video, though. I feel, I'm thinking like this. I feel sorry for the people that commit PPP fraud, right? And then they meet new people in the future, and this new person they meet is gonna fall in love with them. They're not gonna, because the person, like right now, you guys think that committed PPP fraud, since nobody's knocking on your door yet. You guys think you got away with it. That's what you think in your mind. That's what you're thinking, but you didn't. Now you meet a new person, they fall in love with you, and then they come knocking on your door. What are you going to tell the new person that you're with? Because this is going to be the first time of them hearing about you committing a PPP fraud, because you're not going to tell them. They're going to think that they knew you, you knew each other, you guys knew everything about each other except that. What if you guys met each other's families and they love him or her and all this stuff, and hey, we love the person you're with, and you guys are just hunky dory, and then next thing you know, a knock at the door, knock, 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 knock. Hey, is so and so here? Yeah, we're here to collect on the PPP fraud. Collect what? You. We're here to collect you because we own you now. You're now owned. And guess what? You put yourself on the hook. A lot of you young people that did it, you changed your entire, you guys have no idea. You just changed. It doesn't stop your life. Okay. I'm not saying it stops it, but it has changed the trajectory. I don't know why I can't say that word right. It has changed the direction of your life. First, it was straight. Now it's taking a hard left. Now it's going to stay left until you fix that problem, until you pay and do whatever you're supposed to do, and probation, jail, fines, whatever, everything has to be paid. Once everything is taken care of, and then it'll get back on track. But say like the people that get caught in like year 9 or 9.5, add up all those penalties and fees and years, because by 9 years later, that money is going to be good and gone. No matter, it won't matter if you had $1,000, definitely $1,000, but $1 million. 10 years to a debt slave, yeah, because the majority of you guys that took PPP loans, you guys have never seen that amount of money in your life ever. So of course you're going to spend it like exactly that, like you've never seen it in your life. So you're going to spend it accordingly. Buy cars and houses. Listen, go buy cars and houses with stolen money. And put the shit in your names. Put the houses in your names. Put the cars in your names. Go buy jewelry and then get on social media. It's just bananas. All evidence. Convicting yourself as a debt slave. Life of slavery forever. All caused by who? Yourself. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of people like me to kind of say, that's probably the wrong direction. You probably shouldn't do that. Yeah, I don't really care what your friends are doing, but I promise you shouldn't go that way, because you see your friends in your 20s, wait till you see your friends in your 40s. First of all, the ones that make it that far, because when you're in your 20s, you think you're going to be 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 or 80. That's what you think in your mind. There's a lot of my friends that I had in my 20s that are not here today because they didn't make it this far for whatever reason. I'm just saying they're not here. That's all I'm saying. So you're not guaranteed to be 52. And let's just make that clear, okay? Especially when you're in your 20s, saying 52 is old. Again, you are new to earth. You, not me. I've been here. You are brand new. Just always remember that, okay? And you're not guaranteed to get here. Okay? Do you understand that? That's not guaranteed. It counts on how you take care of yourself, counts on how you eat, exercise, make the right decisions. There's a lot of factors to getting here. How you get here, you either do it the easy way or the hard way. That decision's up to you. How you get here. Because I'll tell you this, when in my 20s, I made a lot of wrong decisions. I promise you that. A lot of wrong decisions. I wish I had somebody like me to tell, hey, yeah, Linnell, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. No, I don't care how much money is to be made. That's what you do not do. Okay? You do not do that. Why? Because of this, you can go to prison. You can be stamped for the rest of your life as a felon. Okay? Do you want that? Nope. You can't go out the country. You can't vote. You can't do this. You can't do that. So what does that mean? That means you're not free anymore. That's what that means. You're not free. Like when some people, like when you hear people, because I believe, and this is just my opinion, I believe a lot of you guys are going to be on probation. I do. A lot of you guys are going to be on probation, right? It counts on what it does. It counts on how brazen you were with the money. Okay. I think, and that's just my opinion, right? Like when you go out and buy houses and cars and yachts and jewelry and then do it all on Facebook, you're really throwing your middle finger up at the federal government, like, hey, fuck you. I took your money. I'm doing whatever I want to do, and then I'm gonna show it and tell it to everybody. That's what you're doing. You don't know that you're doing that, but that's what you're doing. Then they look at you and say, oh, I guess we got to, you showing all your friends, then we're going to show you, we're going to spank you in front of all your friends. That's what we're going to do. So your friends won't think they can do the same. Doesn't matter where you're from, where you grew up, what city, none of that shit. None of that matters. Not in the courtroom. Telling you. Let me throw this invite out here. Copy clipboard. Somebody got some questions. I just posted this thing up in my community area. I saw a video. I saw a short come across my YouTube line, and this girl, I posted in there. If you guys want to check it out, it's in the community area of SavingsMinusDebt. This girl, she's claiming she's going to help people that did PPP fraud or something. I'm like, what? What are you going to do to help them if they committed PPP fraud? What are you going to do to help them? Are you a lawyer? If you're not a lawyer, I have no idea what you're going to do for them, because once they press enter, that's it. And the money spent, what are you going to do for them? Take more of their money? They're going to, because right now, listen, and it's normal, but I know a lot of you guys are scared shitless. I know you are. I know you're scared. You got to be. You got to be scared. And if you're running fear, and this is what a lot of financial scammers get, how they get you guys. They get you guys when you're in fear mode. You're in panic mode. So here's a girl coming out here claiming that she's going to be able to help you do something with, if you did PPP fraud, and she's going to help you with something. No, she's not, unless she's a lawyer. Nobody can help you but a lawyer. But if you're in fear mode, you're going to pay somebody thinking they're going to correct the paperwork, so somehow they look over. No, unless she has access to the federal database that houses all this information, which I highly doubt she does. Unless she can get in there and change that paperwork, that's the only way. That's the only paperwork she's going to touch. I don't know what paperwork she's talking about, but if she can't touch that paperwork, it don't matter, because she'll never touch that paperwork. I promise you that. Here come the scammers. Hey, watch out for the shorts. Watch out for the Instagram shorts, because they're taking advantage of your fear, because you guys know it's coming, so you guys are panicking. There's going to be more like her. I hope you guys are ready. They're going to claim they're going to be able to help you. No, they're not. No, they're not. They can't. They're going to help you take more of your money. And maybe they're coming after some of that PPP money you got to pay them. But most likely, if you spent it all, and now they're going out there rounding up the people they own now, that you guys are owned now. Okay, just remember that you're owned. So they're rounding up their property. You have been purchased by the PPP money you stole. You sold yourself. You sold yourself for whatever amount you stole. So now they're coming to round up their property. You are now owned. You sold yourself. That's it. So if you have, this is what I strongly suggest you do, okay? If you have stolen PPP money right now, if you know you stole PPP money, I strongly suggest you go get a lawyer and you go to them. Don't make them do extra work looking for you, have to go through all your fucking bank accounts and see what route you did, this and that. You go to them and say, look, I stole the money. You're going to get something, okay? But I promise you, if they have to spend money to use resources to get you, that's going to be a problem. What's up, Robert?
Hey, good evening. How you doing?
All right, sir. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Staying out of trouble.
Good.
The
That's a
usual.
good thing.
Yeah, I'm glad you talking about this fraud stuff, man. I had a coworker told me that he had stole $9 million from BB&T, the bank.
What do you mean stole? What do you mean stole?
He committed bank fraud and wire fraud,
Oh, okay.
mail fraud as well.
Electronically stolen
Yeah,
money. Got it. Okay.
this was years ago. So he had to pay back like 0.009% of the money he stole back because the judge gave him that percentage. And the reason that was because they found out that the money that he stole through electronic fraud was already insured by the banks. But he had to serve 2 years in prison behind that because, though he had like 4 felonies because of it. And he was just telling me all of this, and of course he was telling me that like homeowners, the ones that have mortgages, of course, they was like that's how they make that money. They'll get a mortgage and rent a room out and have someone else pay their rent. And I was like, you do know what a mortgage is, right? And I was like, I'm like, y'all all saying the same thing, which is how you got caught.
Yes.
Yeah, they all say that, we can have somebody rent out a house.
They all say the
The
same
rent money
program.
go.
It's a program. They all say the same program.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't know that.
And when I was
They
here,
don't know that they're saying it though, Robert. They don't know they're saying it.
yeah, that's exactly right. And I just stood back in amazement. I was like, damn it, LJ is right again. David, damn, LJ is right again. Shit.
They don't know. You know what it is? You're just coming into accepting what is. That's all. It just is.
Yeah.
When I hear him say it, I barely
But
even hear him say it anymore. I just, oh yeah, okay, they're just running the program.
yeah, it just made me become more grateful that I found you, because it's like you basically kept me safe and out of trouble by learning all of this stuff. It's like, what if I'd done something like that? I would have had 4 felonies and
Right.
just living recklessly, and I would have never been free.
Yeah.
That's why I came to say I am extremely grateful to you. You just don't know.
And see, you know what? Honestly, and hearing you say that brings me joy, that because only a person that could feel what I'm sharing would respond like that. So that helps me know what I'm doing is working. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's what and now we both grow,
Yep.
I love it, man.
It's just me too. It's just when I hear them talk like that no more, it's just like I don't debate with them. It's just that I be like, you really did that? Oh, okay.
They don't know mortgage payments is rent. They just think because it's a different word, it's not the same, but it is the same. They just don't know that.
Exactly. It's more effective programming that's been done towards them.
Right. So you see,
Like
because you notice how most of them say, they always go, oh, mortgage versus rent. But you got to remember, rent is an expense. Mortgage is debt. There is no versus. They don't know that. There's no verse. That's not even a comparison. You don't do that.
Exactly.
Right. But they don't know that. So when you hear debt slaves do that, that should automatically tell you that they don't know. Same way they mix up business and personal debt. They don't know that they're doing that either. They don't know that.
They sure don't.
Nope.
Man, it's just it's just amazing how hearing them talk like that made me become even more grateful to you. They're like, damn, this man is giving out this knowledge. This man is literally saving lives for free. It's like we getting like you're getting the keys to the castle.
Yeah.
It's like I wish. I'm sorry, Graham.
No, but you got to also remember, the majority of people listening to this cannot hear me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To really let that soak in your mind, to really understand that everything, though I'm speaking English, though everything I'm saying is 100% mathematically true, they cannot hear me. And the reason why they can't hear me, because it's against the laws of mathematics for them to.
Yep. You're absolutely right. That's why now I'm accepting my being alienated I
Right.
know it's our meaning of it. It's like I'm beginning to accept more of it. It's like I began not only have my peace with it, but it's just like it's a gift that
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to deal with that type of drama, that I freed myself by
Correct.
just learning how to do this correctly. And
Mm-hmm.
ever since I freed myself, it's like, man, this is like one of the greatest gifts I have ever had.
It's a different, you know what it is? It's the same world, but a different dimension.
Right.
That's what it is, right? You know, first I used to say, oh man, I live in a different world. I'm like, no, that's not true. We all live in the same world. So it has to be a different dimension. And when you really think about it, it really is. It's a different dimension.
I'd be at work thinking about this stuff. I'd be like, not only is it's a different dimension, it's like a different wavelength. It's just
It is,
it's
for sure.
incredible. I'd be at work and I'd just be like, damn, they can't see me nor
No.
hear me.
Mm-mm. I mean, they know, but you got to remember, even though you don't say nothing, they still know you're different. You do notice that, right?
Oh God, yeah.
Because you're giving off a different energy, but they don't know the reason why. They don't know why. They're just like, why is this dude different? And it doesn't make any, because they don't understand. That's all.
I got that from managers at my job and HR. They was like, you different. Like you have I had one manager came up to me from another part of the building and just say, whatever you have within you, keep it. He's like, he's kept saying that you have a fire about you, like you have a
Mhm.
passion about you.
Right.
And he picked up on it. I was just like, okay, I'll keep doing it.
You know what's so crazy? You're gonna have to get used to that too, because
Yeah.
I'm more comfortable with it now. So I know everywhere I go, I know somebody's gonna ask me something, somebody's gonna talk to me, somebody's gonna ask what I do, who I am, because that happens everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. But I know why, because I'm vibrating at a much different level, because I know in my mind, listen, and this is why, because I know for a fact, 100% fact, that I know something that billions of people don't know, because capitalism is worldwide, so it's billions of people don't know, and I know that for a fact. So with that knowledge, I vibrate different. I know I do.
Yep, it's a wonderful feeling.
It's
I love
wonderful.
I love your shorts, by the way. You be holding in your laugh too, man. You be struggling not to laugh at each one of your shorts.
I do, because I want to say it, because if I laugh, I'll mess up my words, and I want my words to be clear, you know?
It's like almost like if it's just like if you got student loans older than your children, you like yes, you be holding that shit in hard, man. That shit funny.
I do, because I don't want to mess up my words, man, because I'll start.
Right.
And then they'll say, what did he say? I can't understand. No, I want you to hear every word I'm saying clearly, you know? But I love doing the shorts. They're fun. I do be cracking myself up sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. I watch all the shorts, so it's like I watch it all the time. But
yeah, it's a big hit, man. People are really gravitating to the shorts, and then they come to the channel, and then I get a little bit of negative, but mostly positive feedback on the comments and stuff.
It's like my whole world has been brand new. It's just the other side. It feels amazing. Now I'm getting accepted to feeling what you've been feeling, which is like you get used to it. You see, it's like the movie Limitless.
Right.
I had to watch that movie again. That's how I feel right now.
Yes.
Like I can basically do a lot more than I thought.
And so crazy, I got to tell you this too. When I first watched that movie, when it came out back in 2011 or something like that, I think it was around there, 2010 or 11. And I remember saying to myself, I said, what if that's real? What if there's really a pill that can do that, right? Not realizing, because the pill will make you believe it's something that has to do with that physical pill, right? But what it really is psychological.
Yeah. And in fact, at the end of the movie, he made it into a natural ingredient.
Correct. He did. And so now that I know it's real, that's what makes it amazing. And then I always tell you guys this too. I say, one day S&D counselors are going to be one of the highest paid positions in the U.S. You watch.
Yep. I firmly believe that now.
For sure.
I'm ready for it because
I know you are. I could tell. Man. Just imagine meeting somebody your age, kind of went through what you went through, whatever, right? So you can blend together easier, and then you just tell them what it is, and then they'll just go from there, you know?
Yep. And I'm just saying, man, you've been a godsend to me. Like everything you experienced by yourself, I'm just grateful that you teaching it to all of us. Because have I not stumbled upon this, ain't no telling what could have happened to me. But now that I knew, now that I understand, I was able to correct all the things in my life. I'm on a whole different wavelength, a new path in life. I feel like I elevate and evolve. Like I don't argue. I don't like try to convince people no more. Well, it's insane to convince people of mathematics. So I don't even try to do that no more.
Right.
I stayed.
Right. That's the definition of insanity, trying to convince somebody of mathematics. Woo.
Yeah, I stay in my lane, man.
Yeah, life is different, man. That's why, and they need, I'm excited for when it starts to happen. They need to understand, at different levels, you're going to get tired of watching the news. You're not going to care what the clock says anymore. You're not going to care what day it is. They're going to need somebody to help them through that and talk them why they are experiencing those things. Because that's what they're going to experience. They're going to experience that. They're going to be like, how come I don't know what day it is no more? How come I don't never know what time it is anymore? And then you're going to be like, that's part of the process.
Yep. That's part of the freeing yourself. You
Yes,
don't know. You don't have to care about which day it is. You don't have to look at your time clock. Hey, how you doing, AB?
Hi, everybody.
Good evening.
Got a little name change on YouTube. I changed it to my initials.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what it is like as I make my way into different channels and send super chats, people don't know how to pronounce it. So the intimacy, but
Oh,
it was intimate.
Gotcha.
It was intimacy, but the average person wouldn't have known that. So it was just funny when I was sending super chats to see people struggle. So I said,
I was one of them struggling too. That was
I know. It's all good. It's all good. But how's everybody doing? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Actually, evening, 7:22 on my end. So
same time here.
Yeah, but okay, so I was driving when the notification popped up, so I clicked on and was listening while I was driving, and I had pulled over to send that message, but I didn't know. I guess I haven't been keeping up with the news. When did he change the statute of limitation? When?
That was recently, I think within the last couple of days. I heard he just signed some kind of law that Congress was already pushing it through or something. He just signed it into law, so now it went from 6 years to 10 years.
That's funny.
But I kind of already knew that had to happen because too many people were doing it. So
for sure. But like I said in the first message, I don't want to say naive, but I'm surprised. Like I saw it was a scam from the start. Like none of it made sense that the government was giving away all this free money. It didn't make sense. So I'm surprised and taken back how many people got themselves caught up. However, I knew it would be time before they start getting in trouble. So when my sister shared with me that she tried and didn't work out, I was very angry with her because my whole thing to her is like, why would you be willing to risk your freedom over freaking money that's not yours?
And being stamped, and she's going to be a stamped felon.
Correct.
So that's a felony.
And then when she told me her friend did it, and all the things that the friend did with the money, and the fact that it was the accountant who did, the tax person who did all of it, my thing, I told my sister, like, this woman is crooked. Like as time go on, they're all gonna get in trouble. All gonna get in trouble. Not that I'm wishing it on anybody, but there's no way the government is gonna allow people to get away like all that money. But it was, to me, it was a setup. The way, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but these prisons and jails, they're letting people out with the whatever happened, they allowed a lot of people out of prison. So you have these prisons that's empty. They need to fulfill them. So yes, I agree that people get probation, but there's people that's gonna end up with some jail time. I promise you.
Well, you see how you say, okay, so I'm listening to you say, oh, it was a setup. They did it on, what, but they told them right there. They said, hey, if you lied, you're gonna go to prison. Before they tell you right there in the paperwork. How's that? Okay, put it this way. How is that a setup? If the federal government tells you on before you submit and say, if you do this, you can go to prison.
Listen, they know people are desperate and greedy.
I understand, but is that a setup if they tell you the penalty before you do it?
Listen, I'm too much of a square to break the law. So
No, I'm just saying the obvious. No, I'm just saying the obvious. If they tell you what the penalty is before you commit this crime, would that be a setup?
Listen, LJ, it's very sad to see, and I'm not surprised, as you said, I'm not surprised at the extension of the statute of limitation, because there was so many people who was doing it. They knew that they wouldn't be able to get
Correct.
everybody in that time
But I
frame.
know why. I know why you're saying it. I get it. You know, we both get it and understand. Do I believe is it a setup to create debt slaves? Psychological capital? Yes, that's how debt slaves are created. Debt slaves are created from easy money like that, more money that they've seen in their life without filling out any kind of qualification paperwork. You get millions of dollars. Of course, that's how they buy debt slaves. Same thing with student loan debt. Same thing. I get it. I told psychological capitalism side, I understand why they did it. It works.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
A lot of people are caught up in it, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not wishing bad on anybody, but I told my sister, sit back and watch. You're a tax person. Like next year, she's not going to be doing your taxes because she's going to be in prison somewhere.
Yes,
and your friend is going to end up in prison as well, too. And then my sister, in her ignorance, had the nerve to be jealous of the lady's house. I go, don't be jealous of that crap. Like, she's going to end up in trouble.
That's not her house. That ain't her house.
Yeah. Well,
and you know what she probably did? You know what she probably did? She probably took some of that money. She probably didn't pay for the whole house. She probably put some money down on the house.
Yes.
That's just to think about that is absolutely bananas. That you moving in, you telling all your fans and your friends and family that you just bought a house, knowing that you purchased it with stolen money. That's a ticking time bomb.
Yes. And as you said, the whole social media, like, people have to realize that it's being watched. Like, everything you do is being watched. Your bank accounts are being watched. It was something you talked about recently about that. It's true. It is. It's all being watched. You take our money, you move it here. It's all available.
But you know, when you understand how it works, I don't care if they're watching it. They're watching me. All my math makes sense. That's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if they're watching my accounts or putting money here, because I tell them every year where it's at. So they don't really have to look very hard because I tell them.
Correct.
See?
Well, we're doing it the right way.
Correct. Exactly. That's the only way to do it. That's the only way you can be wealthy here is by doing it the right way. You have to. Because I can't even imagine being worried for the next 10 years of my life for the knock at that door oh my God, that would be so horrible. I wouldn't be able to sleep.
I wanted to share briefly, many years ago when I was in college, I was living off campus on my own, and I had applied for public assistance, and I was able to get food stamps to help me as an independent college student. Now, years later, I would have to say, some years later, 1 year, my tax return, I filed it electronically, and it didn't come. Like, it took a while, and I kept saying, where's my tax return? Sure enough, the government took their money back from my tax return for those food stamps they gave me years ago in college.
What?
Yes. I'll never forget that.
Wow.
And it was funny because the reality, I kept questioning, like, why didn't they send me an invoice? Like, had they wanted the money, I would have paid it, but how? Like, there was no way for me to know they wanted the money back. And it was only when they took my tax refund that I learned. And I mean, it was what it was, but I never forget that. I'll never forget that.
Ain't nothing free. Nothing free. You gotta do it right, man. You have to do it right if you want to do it. And when they it kind of like when they steal that money and go buy a house, they really are putting their middle finger up at the government saying, hey, F you. It's like, oh, now we got to make examples out of you.
Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
Next thing you know, you're on TV and the news and YouTube videos, because that's what's the crazy part about it. It's all public knowledge. You can go in your city and look and see who got a PPP loan. And if you know those people,
they want you to tell.
Or wait till they start offering money. Ooh,
yep.
They're gonna enlist the people. Hey, we'll give you. It won't even have to be that much money. $500. They'll turn in people for $500.
But what's interesting is I am curious, and I guess we may never know, but it is a curiosity. What makes them go after certain people at certain points?
What do you mean go after certain people? What
like,
do you mean? You mean thieves?
When they audit and figure out that you stole, like 5 people what makes them go after person number 3 versus person number 1? Like, I'm just,
Well,
like, we'll never know. But
I don't know that.
yeah,
But I don't think it's personally, I don't think it's chosen like that. Because you got to remember, debt slaves don't know that they are the currency. So when they start lying about tax evasion, none of their stuff is going to make any mathematical sense, but they don't know that. So it's easy to see. You just look at their financials, and none of it's they're gonna have a house and car, but they're gonna have bad credit and collections and student loan debt on their credit report. Then you say there's no way that person could have bought that house and that car with no job and this, and it's not really that difficult to see. And then they just come to them and say, hey, you got to explain this, and then they're not going to be able to, but that's why they're there, because they already know that they're not going to be able to explain it.
As you're talking, I wonder if I read something recently about the Biden administration increasing the IRS to do more audits. So I wonder, are these the extra audits for the PPP, or is it?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, and this is just my opinion about that. Okay, I knew they were going to have to do that too, increase IRS agents. And why you say that? Because now the world has went from W-2 to 1099.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Now, debt slaves, when they were working, they already hated taxes then.
Yep.
But they couldn't do nothing about it because their jobs automatically pulled it. Now that they're 1099, they're not going to pay their taxes. A lot of those people out there doing Uber and delivery jobs, all 1099, guess what? They are not paying their taxes. So they need to hire more people to catch up. And even like the people that steal PPP money, they might get away with it for years, but they can't claim that money on IRS documents, taxes. So that means they're lying on those documents.
Yeah.
They can't claim it. It's like a double-edged sword. They can't claim the money they stole, but if they don't, that means they lied on their taxes. So they're going to get in trouble. They get in trouble either way.
Lying.
So they but I think the majority of those agents are going to go after all these people on 1099 not paying their taxes. That's what I think.
Well, make sure you pay yours.
Oh, I always pay mine. Yeah, that's not even a question.
All right. Well, I just wanted to jump on and say hi.
You're welcome. Thank you for always jumping on. Keep me informed with all your stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk offline. Talk offline. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Right. Later. All right, Robbie, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
I was just I ain't gonna be on too long, because I was just saying again, thank you for helping me through everything. I can't never say it enough.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. I really appreciate it, man. And as we grow, man, I'm telling you, when I get on that big stage, man, I'm gonna be bringing up the early people that've been in the game with me since the beginning.
I'm looking forward to it, man, because you was there from the very beginning and you helped us.
Man, I love it, man. I love to see you guys succeed, man. That's what just brings me joy, for real.
Indeed, I just been learning how to buy. I learned because the dude was telling me I bought some Ethereum and it went up from 900 to 1750, and I was just like, it's not real. In my mind, it's not real. What are you talking about?
Right.
It's like
but then you got to say to yourself, but without them, cryptocurrency couldn't exist. Without that,
they're the Bitcoin. It's just amazing to see it all play out. But I ain't gonna hold you up though, man. Again, thank you for everything. You stay in good health. Be safe out there, and when you do your next shorts and lives, I'll come see you again. Okay.
All right, sir.
All right, you take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Love it, man. You guys' success is my success. And Han says, what's even sadder is that they sold themselves for no more than $20,000 to $25,000 at least. That's what I keep on seeing. That's the average. Okay, when you look on there, okay, the government sent those checks to those folks. All right, sold themselves for between 20 to 20. Say like I said earlier, say like you got a PPP loan for $1,000. You just sold yourself for $1,000. Well, yeah, for $1,000. And guess what? You're going to be paying more. You're going to be paying more than that back. And that includes, monetarily. But the most thing is that you sold yourself for $1,000. And think about, what did you spend that $1,000 on? Do you still even have it? I guarantee you this, whatever you spent the $1,000 on, I guarantee you 8 years from now, you won't have it. Say like, whatever you bought with 1,000, 8 years later, they come knocking on the door and say, hey, we're here to collect on that $1,000 PPP fraud. If the agent said, hey, what did you buy with it? And you don't remember, because you're not even remember, but now you're going to remember that moment for the rest of your life, because now you're going to be stamped for $1,000. Bye-bye jobs that you wanted. Bye. Elder speaking, hypothetically, if you inherited a home from a family member and it was still in a mortgage, would you keep the property? Now, that is a good question. And when you hear that, you guys got to understand something, okay? If a person have a mortgage and they inherit and the son inherited the house, it's still the bank's house. Just because the dad wants to give it to his son, that doesn't matter. The bank is going to say, can this person afford to take over this mortgage? It just doesn't automatically transfer and say, hey, well, okay, well, can this kid afford? What if the son has bad credit and felonies and he can't drive, and you think he's just going to, and the bank's going to say, oh, okay, whatever. Here you go. We'll put it in your name. No, they're going to say, hey, well, if you don't find another person, you're out. So I don't really, I mean, and even if it was true, hey, you've inherited this house. Does it have a mortgage? I'll be like, if it was a low mortgage, if the house, it counts on the amount of the house. Let me make sure. If it's true and you can do that, and if it was a low mortgage on a wonderful house, yes, I would assume the mortgage for sure. It's like, say like the house was worth $400,000 and there was still $100,000 mortgage left on the house. Yes, I would take over the mortgage. I would say, yes, I will do that, because I will have a $400,000 house that I paid $100,000 for. And I'd pay that $100,000 off so fast that there would be nothing else would be on my focus than pay that house off. Because as soon as I pay the house off, guess what my net worth is immediately worth? $400,000 immediately, because just by owning the house. Inherited the house worth $400,000, but there's $100,000 mortgage on it. I get it. Assume the house, pay the mortgage off within 2 years, $100,000. Now my net worth is worth $400,000 by investing $100,000. Voila! You see how I did that? $400,000. Not only, it doesn't stop there. It's still coming. The money still comes. Guess what? While everybody around me, millions of people are paying mortgages, I'm not. Everybody will have a monthly mortgage. The majority of people around me will have a monthly mortgage. Guess what? I won't. So not only will my net worth be immediately $400,000, it'll be climbing monthly, because as long as there are debt slaves paying mortgages and I'm not, that means my net worth is more monthly because I'm not paying a mortgage. That's called phantom income. Clarence says, so this is how Biden is going to get taxes back. I don't really look at it that way, Clarence, because I understand debt slaves. Debt slaves are the currency. Debt slaves are taxes. Debt slaves are anything. So there is no getting back something. I know it look. No, don't get me wrong. I know it looks like that they're doing something to get taxes back and blah. I understand the mechanics of that, why it has to be that way. But when you understand capitalism is psychological and debt slaves are the currency, you don't really look at it like that anymore, getting back anything. Maybe this is your time right now, Omanike, because sometimes I say, man, I wish I had it back at Nick's age, in my 30s. But then I think to myself, what if I probably abused my gift a little bit? Probably so. And when I say abuse my gift, with this knowledge, what if I, in my mind, get with a woman sexually and she's a debt slave, and I already know she's a debt slave, so I already know in my mind that I'm never going to be with her. but I'm still going to have sex with her. See, that's kind of abuse of the gift, right? Even though it's legal to do, but that's really horrible to do to a person, right? Because I said, like, if I had this knowledge and I just wanted sex and I knowing that she wanted more, but at the same time, I already know that I'm not going to be with her because she's a debt slave, and she doesn't know she's a debt slave, so it'd be a total waste of time. So I already know that would be selfish. I would have had to learn, like, put it this way: if I was in my 30s right now with this knowledge, I would be honest with every woman that I come in contact with. If I meet somebody and we get along and then I find out she's a debt slave, I'll just tell her, hey, I know we get along great, but we're not going to be anything more. And she's going to say, why? I'm going to say, because you're in debt. You have student loan debt that you're not going to pay. It doesn't sound like you're going to pay it because I don't ever hear you talk about paying it. And now you're financing a house, and now you financed a car, and now your student loan debt is older than all your stuff. So I know for a fact that we cannot be together. And then I would let them make the decision, because sometimes if you go into it like that and a woman decides, hey, you know what, I'll change his mind, or I'll whip it on him so good that he'll change his mind. What they don't understand is this is what a lot of the young people don't understand. When you own yourself, sex doesn't even matter. Because when you own yourself, you would never legally tie yourself to a debt slave, and you most definitely would not biologically procreate with a debt slave, because that means you would be biologically tied or legally tied to a debt slave. And when you own yourself, you would never do that. So it wouldn't matter how good the sex is. It just wouldn't matter. We would always use protection, always. There would be never a time that we wouldn't. And she would say, hey, why are we always using protection? I'll just turn to her and say, because I don't want to get you pregnant. Well, you know what? Latex is not really feeling good on me. Are you just saying we're not having sex? Because if we're not using condoms, we're not having sex. That's what I would say to her. So if you don't like it, that means you're saying we're not having sex anymore. Okay, well, it was nice knowing you. See you later. Let's see what you guys been saying here. Say Capricorn said it wasn't free. It was for people who have actual businesses. That's true. I mean, there was a purpose for PPP loans, a legal purpose, of course. Yeah. Most Black people don't have legit businesses. It really don't have nothing to do with anybody's color. You know, when you understand capitalism is psychological, you're gonna drop the color thing, the race of a person, if they're Jewish or Black or Chinese. Oh, Chinese people are smarter. You're going to stop all that stupid nonsense, because it has nothing to do with, only thing it has to do with is math. Math is not a religion, a color, a woman or a man. It's just math. And once you really grasp that, you guys will really change. Your whole view is going to change. What's up, Andre? 6,000 people. That's just a small number. Just a small number. Biden is getting ready to come for CashApp as well, taxing your yep. Should have voted for Trump. Well, when Black people earned about, okay, see, Capricorn, the Capricorn way. Okay, there's a couple things in your statement. Okay, when you understand psychological capitalism and you have a CashApp, I don't need the IRS to tell me to tell them about my CashApp. When I file my taxes, I tell the IRS about my CashApp. They don't have to tell me to tell them. I just show them. I was like, here you go. Because you better believe, listen, this is what debt slaves don't understand. I promise you 100,000% that CashApp is reporting everything to the IRS. I promise you they are. Else they wouldn't be as big as they are. Why would they? All their money comes from you. Why would they lie about giving the portion that they're supposed to give to the IRS? It's like, here, let me give you an example, okay? Because this is what you debt slaves don't. You guys, nobody's really explained it to you like this. So say like you had your own business, and you came up with this fantastic product that you can sell for $1,000. You say, man, I created this thing, man. I think it's worth $1,000. And that's what you're going to sell it for, right? Okay. You say, cool. You open a business. Okay. I'm going to sell this for $1,000. The IRS, the government comes in and says, hey, if you sell that for $1,000, we need you to add this tax of $100 on that. So when you sell the product, you sell it for $1,100. So no, well, not like that, but you say like, okay, you believe your product is worth $1,000. So if you want to pay the IRS taxes on top of that, you already know your product's worth $1,000, and then all of a sudden you sell it for $1,200. So you could cover the taxes that you know you're going to have to pay the IRS. And then the IRS says, okay, will you sell it for $1,200? We're going to add this 10% tax on it as $100, let's say $100. And then when you collect that tax from the debt slave, you give it to us. You don't get to keep it. You think you get to keep your product, the product that they said you can charge whatever you want to charge on your product. You think you get to keep that money and their money? You're not paying it. The debt slave paid the whole $1,200, but you think you get to keep it? When you understand how it works, you're not really paying taxes. You're passing taxes. You're just passing it to them. So if I get the money I want for my product, I just take the money that they added on top and give it to them. Here you go. That's not mine. That's yours. Because it all comes from debt slaves. So I'm not doing that. I'm giving, because I'm not paying it. Debt slaves are paying it. What'd you say? Met someone yesterday. He told me he pulled money from his mortgage to fix his house. I'm done. Oh, that is hilarious, man. Debt slaves have no idea what they're saying. Yeah, you're right. Permanent birth control. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Nick. Raw dog is for debt slaves. You better believe that. No. You know, so crazy. There would have been never a time that I was too drunk, too high, and I just let it slip. I promise you, when you own yourself, those things don't happen. I promise you, they don't happen. Hey, put it this way. When you own yourself and you say like you got drunk and you got high, I promise you, if you got close to that, it'll snap you out of it. You know how they put that, that one medicine into heroin addicts when they've been gone, and that Narcan is thick, and then they snap right out of it. That's what that'll do. If you with somebody and you about to have sex with them, and you don't got no protection, it's gonna snap you out of it. You be like, whoa, hey, no, we still ain't. Oh, I thought you were drunk. No, I ain't that drunk. Procreate with a debt slave? No, I ain't doing that. Sorry, not doing any of that. What's up, K for Business? K Business Podcast, what's going on? What'd you say, Frenchelle? But LJ, they say black wasn't able to get mortgages and insurance. White people did. People argue with that. We should get a mortgage just because of that reason. Well, the only thing I can say to you guys about that, math has nothing. I'm gonna just reiterate this. Math has nothing to do with the color of your skin. So when you hear things like that, mortgages have something to do with math. Okay, you have to know that, right? And then when you hear somebody say something of a color and this, well, maybe put it this way. Maybe it's true. Now, I don't know. This is an example, okay? Because I really don't even like talking about this kind of stuff. No, I'm not even going to say it. No, let me just skip that. Math has nothing to do with color. Math has nothing. Always remember, hey, black people can't get this because of what? Can't get what? They can't get car loans and this and that. What's that got to do with math? Nothing. Math is colorless. Exactly. We think money's green because that's the color of the U.S. currency. But that's not money. That's just paper with green. That's just paper with green ink on it. That's all that is. Okay, you think it's because debt slaves are currency. But they got to make it physical so debt slaves believe it. So, hey, it's this. Debt slaves don't know money is positive and negative. Okay. They only showing them the green. You think the government's going to print? You think they're going to print red dollar bills? No. Then the debt slaves would know if they printed green bills for positive money and red bills for so like there was red bills for negative money. Negative money would be littering the streets. You would be able to identify all the debt slaves because red bills would be coming out their cars, their houses, their pockets while they're on vacation, littering the airports and the beaches. You guys would know everybody who was a debt slave. So they can't print that. So that's why they left it psychological. They left the red bills psychological and the green bills physical. Because they leaving it up to you. They all taught us this in grade school. They said, hey, if you look up at the chart, the zeros in the middle, yeah? The numbers on the right are green because they're positive. Yes, okay, because I remember this in elementary school. The numbers on the left, those are negative. That's why they're in red. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. So now you look at the green bills, that says, hey, that's a positive bill. that's a positive bill. How do you know? Because it's green. It's positive. The negative ones, but you don't know to ask, hey, but where's the negative bills? Oh, they only exist in your mind. They're psychological. They can be whatever color you want, but we're going to go with red. So if you saw like, if say like red bills were physical, and if you saw somebody driving down in a 2022 Mercedes-Benz, one of the top class, but the whole car was filled with red bills and only the driver could fit in it. And as he rolled down the window, the bills would be falling out. You would immediately know that that's a debt slave and that's not their car because they got red bills in them. But if you saw the same car filled with green bills, you would know that person has money positively. But those kind of things can't happen. You can't. You guys got to keep believing the people that you see on YouTube telling you how to get rich in 50 days and 30. As soon as you hear, listen, as soon as you hear amount of days, hey, get rich in this many days, that's a problem right there. What's so special about those days? Get rich fast. Fast ain't got nothing to do. Math has nothing to do with fast. You think if you said 1 + 1 = 2 faster than another person, that it means you're right? If I said 1 + 1 = 2, and you said 1 + 1 = 2, do you think you're more right than me or something? I'd be cracking myself up, man. You think you're more right than me? No, it doesn't. That's what I mean. So when somebody says, hey, I'm gonna help you get rich fast, you got to go, what? How you gonna do that? You gonna speed up math? You gonna speed up mathematics? Why would you speed it up? That's pointless. Well, time to end this video. Well, anyway, I just came on I had to, as soon as I saw President Biden do that, I was like, I felt, I could feel bad. I mean, sometimes I do, because especially the younger you are, because you don't know. You're brand new to earth. You're brand new to the system. And you say, put it this way, say like you're 18 and you got a PPP loan. Brand new adult starting out wrong already and don't even know. You know, say like you get caught and they give you probation. Say like you're 18, you stole $1,000 in PPP loan money, and then you got probation. Hey, if you say you're guilty, we'll give you probation, and that's that, and be done with, and no jail time, and then you take it. Now the trajectory, damn, I don't know why I can't say that, trajectory of your life has changed at a very, very young age, very young age. You don't even, at 18, you don't know yourself. You don't know who you're going to become. You're still trying to figure out where to fit in, who you're going to be, what you're supposed to be like. What do you need to do to attract the opposite sex to you? Doing all this shit, right? When all you need to know is just know yourself first. Once you know yourself, you can attract anybody you want to you. But you're going to change all that by a few fucking dollars. And I feel for the younger, the 20-year-olds that get caught up in this shit. I feel for them, man. It's like, damn, they don't know what they really did. They have no idea. Oh, I just got probation. No, it's more than probation. I promise you that. It's more than that. Probation is more like you got to pay something. You got to pay, if not all of the time in your life, you're going to pay for some of the, you're going to pay with some of the time in your life, which is probation. You lose some of the time in your life getting on probation. What do you mean by lose? Because you don't own it no more. You don't own your life anymore. For 3 years, 5 years, whatever, it's the same thing. It's just not physical consignment or confinement. But after you're off probation, you're still stamped. LJ, folks were drawing 401k because government allowed it. Okay, now they got to pay it back. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and they even spread the taxes over like 3 years or something to pay it back. I wonder how many of you guys are going to have that tax money. How many of you guys are going to have that tax money to pull from your 401k? Because I believe they'll let you go up to like $100,000. I remember that on Monique. I remember that he bumped it up to 100,000. Now, if you understood how it works, that was a very good thing to be not taxed on, be taxed later. But when you don't understand money and you pull that money and say, oh, well, I'll pay the taxes. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not going to have the money. Because if you had to pull from your 401k, that means you didn't have, put it this way. If you had to pull from your future to pay for your present, that means you didn't have the money today. So if you didn't have the money today, you're not going to have the money then. You think you're going to have, you don't have it today, but you think you're going to have it in the future? Is that what you believe? And so if you don't have the taxes to pay on it today, you're not going to have the taxes to pay on it tomorrow. So guess what? You're going to have to pay more than what you, Whew. Man. I'm just here to tell you guys on the wrong side of it, the wrong side. If you're around people that's always constantly talking about taxes and hiding money and pretending they ain't making this and it's under the table, you better stay far away from people like that. You better stay away from that. You know what that says? They don't understand how it works. That's why they're hiding it. What are you hiding it for? Why? If you know what's so crazy? If Jobs didn't automatically take the taxes out of your check before you guys get it, you guys would spend the money. I remember when I had I was about to end it, but I remember I had a job. I remember when I had my job and I'm doing the W-4, whatever that thing is where you could do your allowances and stuff. There was a checkbox that says you could check this box and say, don't take out any taxes out of my check. I remember I used to see that box there. I don't know what that box is, but it says, don't take any taxes out of my check. And I was like, why would they put that box there? Well, I mean, it's the law to pay taxes. Why would that be there? Do you guys know that there are people that check that box and then start adjusting their lives with no taxes being taken out of their checks? I never checked that box because it never made any sense to me. Why would I do that? No, I'm not going to do that. There are people that do. And guess what? 3-4 years later, when they've adjusted their whole lives, because that's what you slaves will do. You'll check the box. and then adjust your life with this additional income of not paying taxes, and then also go finance a newer car, get a better house, and then, I mean, I don't get it. And then you're surprised when you get the knock at the door. Hello, hey, yeah, with the IRS. Yeah, how you doing? You check that box and not pay any taxes. Yeah. Well, you do know it's the law that you have to pay taxes. Yeah. Yeah. Then why aren't you? They're just waiting for you to start lying because there is no excuse. We had to waste manpower because we sent you the letter, you ignored it. Now we have to send people here. That costs money. Thanks for the heads up on the PPP loan scam. Boy, the United States government going at people hard. Not surprised, though. Are they? They're not really going after anybody hard. They're just going after people that stole the money. That's all. That's not really, hey, you stole it? Yeah, okay. Well, shit, you got to pay. We told you before you press enter, right? We popped up a box that says, hey, if you're lying, you can go to prison. Yeah, and you pushed it anyway. Yeah, okay, well. You are now property of the United States government. Yes. Until we get just think about it. If somebody stole $1 million and spent it all by the time they catch up with them, guess what they owe? $1 million plus penalties and fees. You think they're going to have $1 million plus penalties and fees to pay back as a felon? No, that means they're owned for the rest of their life. That's what it means to be owned, that you're owned. You're never going to be able to pay back $1 million ever. So you're going to be paying on that money for the rest of your life. I don't know why they would put that box there. I just don't know. I know a few coworkers who got caught up like that, not paying. Yeah, me too. I know a few people that did it. I do. I was surprised that people could. It makes no sense, but and I can't help but think this way. That's how debt slaves are created. They check the box. Hey, check. I want to be a debt slave because they know taxes. You have to pay. It's the law that you have to pay taxes. Why is that box there? I don't know. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure a tax accountant or somebody can legally explain it to you. Okay, they can say, "Hey, this box is for the purpose of X, Y, Z," because it wouldn't be there. It has to have a legal purpose. I'm just giving you from a psychological perspective. That box says, "Hey, do I want to sell myself?" Check that box. Because if I know I have to pay taxes and I don't want to, and I check the box, okay, I just sold myself. People actually check that box and forget about it. Check it, see the extra money, and then they just, okay, I'll do it next time. I'll change it back after this. And then they adjust their lives, and then they're done. You know how many, hey, listen, why do you think they're hiring more IRS agents? Why do you think that is? People are fucking up on their taxes. They're not paying. I can imagine the flurry, the load of people that are now 1099 not paying. And if you're listening to this, if you're an Uber driver, a delivery person, all 1099, and you ain't been paying your taxes, get ready. You're going to receive a letter. I strongly suggest you go to them. You hire a tax attorney person, get your shit in order, go to them. Get it straight now. Because if they have to waste resources to get you, you have to pay for those resources. You're going to pay. Don't come up with any excuses. You walk in with your lawyer or however you're going to do it and say, I just wasn't paying. Don't say I had hard times. I was this and that. My dog died. Just say, you know what? I just didn't pay. That's all you got to say. Just say that. Just be 100% honest. I just wasn't paying. But I'm here to get it straight. The younger you are, I hope you're listening. And the few that might get away with the fraud, you better thank your fucking lucky stars. Thank your lucky stars. But 10 years, hire more people, good luck with that. They're slowly rolling the line in, see how many debt slaves they have on the hook. Woo, it's going to be a lot of you guys too. You know how they roll that you know how the fishermen, those fishermen shows, they throw that net out there and they're reeling the net in, and they can have all bunch of crabs and fish. That's you guys going to be in that net. You flipping and flopping on deck. Get all just like the fish. The fish are swimming in the sea one day. Then they're snatched out of their life just like that. Boom, snatched right out. That's what's going to happen to you. 6, 7 years later, you're going to be living your life. And guess what? That net's going to come and snatch you right out of your life. Doesn't matter what you're doing, who you're with, how many kids you have, what job you have, where you live, what state you live, because it's federal. It won't even matter. I wouldn't even be able to sleep. I would not be able to sleep. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful evening. It's 8 o'clock here. Thank you everybody for joining. SMD family, as always. I'm excited for us all. You watch. SMD counselors is going to be needed. Believe that. All right, you guys have a wonderful night. Later.